Hermes, draw near, and to my prayer incline, in art's gymnastic and in fraud divine.
Dire weapon of the tongue which men revere, be present, Hermes, in thy suppliant here.
Welcome to Third Eye Bind, episode 44, Performance. Hi, I'm Laura.
And I'm Caitlin.
And welcome back to Third Eye Bind.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome. Is that welcome back, Cotter?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Wow, it's really appropriate that we're singing today. We'll reveal what we're doing in a bit, but before we do that, if you like us, please share, tell your friends, comment, like, be active and do all the things you can to share us, because we are an independently run podcast and we both have a lot of other jobs. And we know you appreciate us. And for everyone that's supported us on Patreon and by doing that and buying our merch, we really, really appreciate you. And also, let's add that 5-star review.
Please, wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, what have you.
The ethos, like whatever.
Wherever it's
fine. The
yes.
ether, not ethos. Ether,
Please,
whatever.
because reviews help us get bumped up and get seen by more people, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We love that for all of us.
We really like that. And if you really want to take a step further and support us on Patreon, we have a Patreon with different tiers, like free stickers and such. That's patreon.com/thirdeyebind.
And the stickers are holographic.
They are holographic.
Just so you know.
Glitter.
They're real cute. And it's not just one sticker. It's like
Three
stickers.
pack of 3.
So amazing.
Yeah. And also, we have merch now.
Yes!
We have merch.
Y'all asked for it. Laura has worked really hard on designing it and getting it live on the site, and it looks fucking incredible. Laura's wearing one of the designs right now.
I'm not Wiccan.
I'm not Wiccan.
No, I'm not.
And I LOL at that one so hard. It's so good. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, it was a design that needed to belong to this podcast. So, yes, we also have mugs.
We do have the mugs.
We have mugs. We have a discernment sweater.
We have a travel mug. Oh, you posted the discernment sweater already?
I will by the time this is aired.
Oh my God, amazing. Someone asked for it last night and Laura was like, I'm on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I drew our Mercury Hermes statue, and it looked really rad, so I put it on the tee with the purple and everything. It's cool. I'm gonna shut up.
I think that
and let
one
you
might be one of my
check it out.
faves.
It's dope.
Yeah. And the cropped hoodie is real f***ing cute.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's a tote bag. There's a travel mug.
stuff.
There's options.
Yes.
So please.
Check out that. Down below, if you're on YouTube, you can see the carousel, or you can find the link in our show notes. Yes, we like that.
Thank you so much for continuing to support our independent podcast. You help us keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes, literally. So thank you very much, and we feel your love. We do.
Do you have anything new going on at Lady Moonco right now?
Well, I have my big old fall drop that just happened, it happened in the. I always have to think of when this is going to air. It's out.
It's out. Yes. So by the time you're watching this, if you're lucky, there will still be a few things left.
Might be a Toad Witch plushie in your future.
Yes. I personally love the traveling
altar bag.
Altar bag. Yeah. It's like, it's stunning. It's stunning.
It's intentional. Intentional tools.
This whole collection is really like...
The altar cloth. I have altar cloths
Why am I
now.
crying?
No, it's
But it's really beautiful.
I need attention.
Yeah, like this whole collection. You always make beautiful things, don't get me wrong. But like there's just something so special about what you released for this fall. And I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really nice. Well, like I talked about last season and I want to take things that aren't normally in the witch space and give them to us, and
You're doing
intentional
it.
tools. Like the spell spaces was like the best thing I ever thought of. Honestly,
They're
if
so
my
cool.
shop just had that, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
So-
they're really cool. And the purses
We
are
might have
fucking
to
adorable.
collab on one.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah. I thought that would be cool.
Let's do
We can talk about that later.
You heard about it here first.
What are we going to talk about today?
Today we are talking about performance. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
Let's see what the Sirens of Song.
Yes, we are pulling from, as usual, per usual, my Sirens of Song tarot deck. That is a musical tarot deck. That is a performance-based tarot deck.
Lilac edition. It comes in a few colors.
Right.
There's something for everyone.
Rooted in the majesty of song, a language we all speak and is universal.
Should I keep shuffling? No. Okay.
Ooh, what song is it gonna be?
That was like really fast. I barely even shuffled. Yes!
What is it? Is it
I'm obsessed with this one.
Is it the star?
I pulled the King of Swords.
Explain.
And the King of Swords is actually an incredible. Ooh. What's funny is like in your deck, swords are microphones.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the King of Swords is when we find ourselves in the energy of not only needing to express ourselves for ourselves, but having the confidence and certainty that we must share our message with others as well. And feeling really fucking good in the work that we are doing, stepping into a space of authority as somebody who has something to offer and to share. You know, swords are really seen as a cerebral suit rather than cups or wands. And all of these things are important, yes, but like swords are when we clearly and effectively communicate the message. And like performance really is about communicating a message, whether you're doing it through song, dance, fine art, painting, what have you. Like you have something to say, you have a feeling that needs to come out, and you're going to use the strength of your sword to do it. And in the Sirens of Song deck, it's David Bowie.
David Bowie.
We could steal time just for one day. We can be heroes forever and ever.
Full body chills right now.
And this touches on another really important part of performance, is that performance really engages us in a way that the time that passes around us kind of ceases to exist.
Steals time, literally. We could steal time just for one day.
We could steal time, stealing time.
There's something very magical about, I think that's a part of why I love to perform live, is because you're capturing that attention. And it's not necessarily for the attention that you need as yourself individually, but like I did a lot of theater. I'm a theater kid. I went to theater conservatory and all that. And when you and like a cast of like 20, 25 other people or an ensemble are like performing collectively together, it's so powerful when it's live and it's just exuding all of this energy. And it is such a time warp.
Absolutely.
It's such and ideally, like you said, performance is sending some sort of message. Like theater plays, if it's a good written play, it has a message, it has a point, it has a purpose, right?
Absolutely.
And you can change hearts and minds. Art does that.
Art does that. It's part of the power of it.
Transformative, and it's magic. Literally, I believe there is a very, very, very thin, if no difference, between being an artist and performing and being a witch, a magician, a magical practitioner. I truly do. Having studied the acting methods and the way, like literally what you do in your brain and how you can act and what different methods there are to acting, and also being a witch, like they feed into each other. It's it's energetic exchanging, and acting is a lot of inner work, and I believe magic at its best is a lot of inner work, and they mirror each other.
Yes.
And it's very interesting.
Okay, so Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
to all of
and.
this. Yes, and
It's an improv thing.
I was spending some time yesterday just doing a little research, as I so enjoy to do. If you know, you know. And something that Mike's laughing because he knows I love a research project. Something that I learned is that performance has existed for as long as humankind has existed. And in early, like, Paleolithic archaeological digs, they found, like, evidence of performance, evidence of dance, evidence of performance as ritual. Yeah. Performance as ritual. And something that I thought was really cool is that most of these early performance spaces were hard to get to, like intentionally hard to get to. And there's this layer of secrecy and protection that goes over these sacred rites. And even if you think about in modern times, like we have the theater, like you have to know how to get there. We build shrines for performance.
We absolutely do.
Like the Pantages.
Pantages, the Ace is the most beautiful theater I've ever seen.
The Amundsen, like beautiful spaces dedicated to performance.
Gilded spaces.
Yes.
Revered spaces.
Yes. Yes.
That's very interesting. And also how even like singing and song, the vocalizations of like Neanderthals, like they sang and used song. There's a book called The Singing Neanderthals, and I forgot, I read it a long time ago, but it's about that. It's about how song developed in like a way to communicate. And within a lot of cultures, that's important.
Yes.
If you need to act in secrecy and
yes,
it's a tool.
Something else I really liked as I was digging into my research is that performance was not only about entertainment, although entertainment is an important part of it, but it's also about beauty and pleasure. There's pleasure and aesthetic and sacred reverence, and they're all tightly bound together. It's not that they're separate components. They're like woven into this tapestry together. And that's so magical. That's so magical.
So magical. And like ritual, I was thinking about ritual and performance, and they're in many ways the same thing. I mean, when you rehearse a show that you're going to perform live, or film too, but I'm just talking about theater because that's sort of my favorite medium. When you rehearse for a live show, you're rehearsing the same thing over and over to where you can go on stage and just let loose and feel in the moment and have it be second nature. And I feel like, and I'm sure with you, the things that you've learned from your cultures, like there's a framework, but there needs to be a freedom within the framework. And I think ritual at its best is that, right? We go into ritual knowing kind of what we're going to do, or maybe exactly what we're going to do, but like when you perform it or when you do it, there's like a sense of like freedom. And it's the same thing when you do like a magical ritual, right? I mean, yeah, if you're into like structured things, like there's the power in the structure, right? And then there's also the power. There's two different, like, it reminds me of dance, because my favorite thing to watch, this is why I love Dancing with the Stars, okay? I love Dancing with the Stars because I love watching people find performance. And when I went to school, like, I'm a dancer, but I went to school with non-dancers, and seeing them just find a moment and feel there's nothing better to me than that. And there's nothing more pure and authentic and inspiring and beautiful than seeing someone learn something and go out of their comfort zone and find joy in it and do something they didn't think they would do. Same with magic, right? When you see your clients like do things they never thought they'd be able to do, and like hold a course or like whatever you do, whatever it is, like just for me, it's like when people realize they have power inside themselves and like they have agency and blah, blah, blah. There is no real, like when you're just improvising and movement and things like that, there's a power in like improvising and just in the moment, completely spontaneous, like how I like to practice magic. But there's also power in framework, I think is what I'm trying to get at, right?
Yes.
It's interesting.
This is something I say to my clients quite often. There is power in repetition.
Yeah.
There's potency in pattern. And you touched on something really important, not only in like theater-based performance, but also in magic. But when you do something over and over and over again, when it's finally time for the show, you get to lose yourself in it because your body already knows what you're doing. So your spirit can kind of take over, and those frameworks allow you the safety to be able to do whatever it is you want to do in a way that feels very pure and raw and authentic. And even when it comes to like improvisation, if you're a dancer, you still have to learn the basics. You still have to learn your bar stuff and stretches so you don't hurt yourself. And even if your dance isn't something that you've repeated over and over again, you have structure from all of those little pieces that get put together. And so when you get to improvise, even that has a foundation that allows you to perform successfully.
Right. Might be a little scarier.
Like
improvisational comedy was the scariest thing I ever did because there is no net. It's free falling into failure. And it's scary.
Yeah, it's the fool's leap.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
And it's an interesting thing when you learn concepts, like you said, like you learn things that will help you succeed in it, but then it's just more of a free fall than like a choreographed dance.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, and last year, maybe it was 2 years ago, I took a land spirits class with my mentor, Chiron, and he shared with us a quote from the Modern Handbook on Animism. And it goes, performance is currency.
Oh my God, that is so fucking
in the
weird.
deep world's gift economy. And it is something that became immediately and deeply embedded in my mind and in my ethos. Like giving good ceremony, which is a performance, is how we give back to the spirits, to the earth, to our resources. And when we look back in history, so much of early performance was about offering that performance to the animals that we ate for our food, the rivers that provided us water to drink, the land that provided us housing and safety and security, the elders who passed on and went into the afterlife. Yes, there was an element of exchange, but really like that is how we give back. I think the full quote is, a young woman asked poet, environmentalist, Buddhist Gary Snyder, if we have made such good use of animals by eating them, singing about them, drawing them, writing them, and dreaming about them, what do they get back from us? Excellent question, replies Snyder, directly on the point of etiquette and propriety, and putting it from the animal side. The Ainu say that deer, salmon, and bear like our music and are fascinated by our languages. So, continues Snyder, we sing to the fish or the game, speak words to them, say grace. Periodically, we dance for them. A song for your supper. I think that's so cool.
Okay, I freaked out because I have had a phrase in my head this whole morning, and it was performance is currency. And it's the first fucking thing that you said. The first thing that's weird. I was like having a little psychic moment there. Or we were thinking about it at the same time. And that's weird.
Performance is currency in the deep world's gift economy.
Currency. It absolutely is. And the idea of even thinking about it practically, like when you inhabit a space, how do you honor it? You fill it with joy. If you feel, ideally you fill it with joy and like goodness and like whatever that means to you. And performance is a potent currency.
Absolutely.
Potent because when you perform, your energy is heightened. Like when I hear certain music and I get like full body goosies.
Like, for sure.
Like that sensory, I mean, that's magical. That's magical. It's a similar feeling I get when I'm really tuned and dropped in magically and just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why creativity is important to me with my magic, because it's like so spicy and good. Like performing is insane.
Is spicy. I love that you touched on that, because if we look back historically, a lot of performance, sacred performance, was entertainment. It was spiritual, and it was also sensual,
sexual.
And even sexual. So many fertility rituals.
Yeah.
Let's see. The erotic temple sculptures at Konarak, 13th century, located in Orissa, India, are but one example of the many joining together of fertility, sexuality, dancing, and music. The ancient and abiding association of the performing arts with sexuality is one of the reasons churches and governments have tried to repress performers, as the fine line between illicit and licit celebrations of fertility are often crossed. The illicit suggests the dangerous, the concealed, the difficult, and out of access. So I also think that's interesting, because you were touching on at the beginning the intersection between witchcraft and performance. And it's just another thing that the church was like, don't do that.
Anything fun is a no-no.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, I dabble in pole dancing, and strippers and sex workers a lot of the time perform for...
That is a performance.
That's a performance.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, that's an amazing, powerful performance that gets repressed and blackballed or whatever. Like, it's seen as a negative in our culture. And I don't know. It's really sad to me, because practicing sensual dance or movement isn't always a currency for others. It's a currency for yourself. And the school that I went to when I was doing pole, it was amazing because there were no mirrors, there was no light. It was like candlelit. It was all safe.
Magical.
People there I felt safe with.
Yeah.
And it was about developing our erotic creatures and the side of ourselves that often gets repressed and and it was touching your body in a way that is for you, like to feel your power and to love your body. And it was just the most, and doing cool pole stuff. And it was the most amazing class structure, because what you would do was you would bring in a song. There was maybe 10 people in the class. You'd bring in a song and everyone would watch you dance to it. Free dance, like whatever you wanted to do. And you just express yourself for 4 minutes without judgment, without mirrors, without worrying about it being perfect or up to standard. It was just about, I'm gonna cry now. It was just about feeling yourself, and it was unbelievably therapeutic for me as a dancer and someone who like needs to move in order to feel completely happy. And seeing just old women, young women, like they taught us how to give each other lap dances. But like when you were in the chair, it was like, okay, you're just a body for this person, and you can put your head back and close your eyes. But they would like, give you a lap dance. But it was about being in support of like just learning a skill and like it was just the coolest, like, sexy coven vibe.
Yes.
It was just, so when you repress things like that, when you discourage people to, and not just churchy, no sexy stuff, like there's a double side to like theater arts and performing arts for me, because ballet is a good example. Ballet is a very strict, very set, very old school dance it's technique, and it's harsh.
Yeah. I've seen Center Stage.
You've seen Center Stage. It's like, I can see your lunch, like suck in your, and because it's this, I wasn't big in ballet. I did ballet, but I was not a like bunhead type person. And I'm glad, because it's very much about how you look, and like, it's very harsh. And for me, that can be harmful.
Absolutely.
To people's mental health and their body images.
Yes, because it's not about you. It's about being good enough for the gaze of others.
Exactly. And to fit into this box, right? And for me, I'm more of a like contemporary dancer, or like a modern dancer, where it's like, let's be weird and see what happens. But I've seen like, and I've experienced myself, the parameters of performance become abusive, quite frankly, and repress natural talent, and to fit into a standard from which you're like learning, and educational systems that teach art can be problematic.
Absolutely.
Because they don't, maybe now there's more implementation of like mental health awareness, and like,
but is there?
I don't know. I was straight up abused when I went to theater school for 2 years straight. It's very cult-like when you're in an intensive program, that it's like nothing matters but the performance. Nothing matters but the show. You must be this way. And if you have teachers that are abusive and
that's
not equipped, it's just like I have PTSD from it, because there's this standard of perfection that you're never doing enough. You're not doing enough. Like, what is there to fix? What is there to clean, like in a dance number or something? And sometimes the way that you move naturally is not the way someone else wants you to move, and they try and force standard on you. That messes you up. And I've just seen it with my classmates, my peers. Like, so point being, it's not all sunshine and rainbows
for sure
with performance, but that's why I say the things I love the most is seeing classes and teachers like the Pulse Studios, where it's like, come as you are and just move, and and the goal is not perfection. It's the sake of moving. Like, it's finding that, like that expression, like let it out, because it's therapeutic. It's more of a therapeutic quality. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm interested in terms of like,
I'm sure, like,
I don't know. I'm not gonna be a rockette anytime soon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but you know,
rockets are really cool.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, I think that like once academic institutions get involved with performance, that's when it gets dicey, because academic institutions, especially in the country that we live in, are founded upon like the same thing everything else is founded upon in this country, supremacy, and this idea of perfection, which is a fallacy of the white supremacy. And when you go back historically, performance was not about being perfect. It was about being real and being reverent and being raw and being authentic and being in community and being in your body and out of your body and all of these things. It wasn't about becoming like perfect little clones of one another doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. And I think you also touched on something important about there being abuse in spaces like this, because those types
spaces,
of I don't want to say, like, because discipline can be good, right? Discipline is supposed to be supportive of you.
Yeah.
But when we get into these institutions, that's when discipline can get abusive. And you see it in academia everywhere. You see it in arts academia. And then you also see it in certain spiritual circles.
Yeah,
Like when you
same.
think about Golden Dawn, that is up. There's some, you go Google it.
There's a fine line between a cult and
It's very
a coven.
fine.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Ooh,
I like that. That's catchy.
Write that down.
There is.
There is. There's a fine line between a
and
cult
community.
and a coven. There's a fine line
fine
between
line.
cults.
Because that's
and
what they use
community.
against you. They tell you, like, this is a community. You're welcome. We're all the same.
That's how you get sucked in.
That is how they suck you in. That's fucked up.
That is like my nightmare. Like I am constantly in my head about like I don't ever want to become a cult leader. I don't ever want to become a cult leader like on accident. And when my clients start liking me too much, I break up with them.
Yeah.
Cuz I'm like you depend on me too much. You need to be the center of your spirituality, not me.
That is so
like
important.
I'm not here to be a figurehead. I am literally just a guide. And
fucking
if
love
you
you.
see me in any other way, like we need distance.
Yeah.
We need distance.
Absolutely. It's a little odd, you know?
Yes, dude, that Teal Swan documentary fucked me up. And like, I know, like logically, intellectually, I know I'm not a cult leader. But like, damn, I don't want anybody to ever think of me in that way or think that like what I say is dogma. Like, no, babe, I'm here to help you. You take what you want, leave the rest.
Absolutely. It's hard not to become a cult leader these days. I mean, it is because social media is about putting your best face forward and show and building a brand and all this shit. And when business and magic get together, it can be very dicey, especially if you're not just like making t-shirts like I am or whatever. Like you're making you're teaching, you know, you're
People
teaching
are trusting me
things
with their lives.
and their spiritual like learning and process. Like it's a
Like,
but people will, you know, intentionally or not, take advantage of that, not knowing. And if they get enough followers, they get a big head. And like,
you like
ego checks are important.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why I like think you're cool and great.
Thanks. I think you're cool and great too.
Thanks.
Something else that I think is really cool that I read. Well, maybe you said this already.
Say it again.
But like performance has the power. You did say this when we first started. Performance has the power to change people's minds. Performance has the power to change people's minds.
Performance has power.
Performance is power. And as I was digging into my research project, something that I learned was that the Greek philosopher Plato hated performance.
Didn't like it.
He thought it had no place in the Republic, right? Like no performance, no theater, no dancing. He thought it was dangerous because they enact alternative realities that may be in conflict with those of the established political and philosophical authorities. They're extremely powerful persuaders of opinion and rousers of feelings.
I feel like that's how skeptics feel about witchcraft.
The established authorities wish to control these powerful medias and employ them for their own uses. And that like blew my mind a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because if you watch old Hollywood movies, like pre-19, like not any later than the late 1930s.
I got a text. Sorry.
Sorry.
Turn my ringer off.
A lot of the content in those early movies was political. It was anti-police.
Yeah.
It was
Reefer Madness.
Anti-government, right? And then this big thing happened in the late 30s or 40s, I believe. And that's when like the government started to become involved in Hollywood because they realized the power of persuasion that the media had. And that's why now like military sites are on all of the different movie lots. We keep getting cranked out all of these like propaganda ass movies about like, oh, the one lone wolf good cop, or oh, look at our poor soldiers who come back traumatized from these wars that we actually don't have to wage. Like feel connected to the things that the terrible things that your government's doing, right, so that you feel proud and patriotic. Literally.
Sorry,
Oppenheimer propaganda.
It's propaganda.
Yes, they literally wiped out an entire city of indigenous people
that made the bombs. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
He made a terrible thing, and leading up to it, it was terrible.
It's just a very ugly thing to make a movie about.
You know what else I learned about him? Not only did they wipe out the entire indigenous community, murder all of the farmland, flocks, all of the animals, destroyed the crops. They hired back the brown folks who they displaced. And while the white people working in the factories got PPE, the brown folks didn't. Yeah. And so many of them died while they were working in those factories.
And is the movie about that?
No. It's about let's glamorize this person. Again, media is powerful. Performance is powerful. It has the ability to persuade
the guy that made it and not the people whom it harmed, which would have been a good movie.
Mm-hmm. So. And also, no wonder there's this disconnect in our country between folks who want a better future for all of us and folks who ride the dick of the red, white, and blue real hard, patriotism forever, because the movies in the last, 60, 70, 80 years, I don't do math, 100 years, have been geared towards using performance as a way to manipulate us as individuals. And even it wasn't Putin, it was Stalin who said that America outdoes anyone when it comes to media propaganda.
Yeah.
And even our news.
Oh, I don't
News has become a performance. Yeah. It's not actually about communicating information to people. It's about getting ratings. And it's this twisted way that capitalism perverts the sanctity of knowledge? Performance.
Yeah, and and just we should know what's going on.
We should be able to know what's going on, right?
But that's not. But that's not how it is.
We can't find that here.
No.
Mm-mm. It's wild the way things can be manipulated. It's they realize, capitalism realizes, this performance thing is liberating them. We've got to take it and rebrand it.
Yes.
And use it to destroy everyone from the inside out.
Yes, and there's also they also do that through who they cast in these things and whose faces you see.
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson as a Japanese anime character.
Yes, and Emma Stone played a Chinese girl.
A Hawaiian.
A Hawaiian girl, that's Hawaiian. What it was. What the
what the is right, okay? There and it's in, not just big blockbuster movies, but in the theater community, it's a big problem because I remember when I was going to school, I understudied the lead of this play, and it was about a married couple. And I remember the teachers were the resident actors, and the students. It was an equity theater company I went to school for. So I acted in the shows, and we were cast. We had to work for free. Unless you're in the summer company, that's a whole nother thing. Let's have free labor for our students. Give them the golden opportunity to perform, to be exploited. We should have been paid for that. Mm-hmm. Looking at both those cameras. All right. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. Exploiting student labor. But a friend of mine, and who's now a friend of mine, and was a teacher of mine, and he was cast as the husband. He's a black man. And then he wasn't cast as the husband. And I remember there being some issues with him and the company and why wasn't he cast? He's great. You know what I mean? So it was just I remember shit like that happening. And no one was fuck that. Let's rally around. No one speaks up because we're taught that it's not okay to speak up.
Because it's a cult.
Because it's a fucking cult.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I hope it's different. Nowadays, I would have said something. I would have been hey, other students, let's go talk to the head of this place because this is not okay. Mm-hmm. I want to know why. There's so many things that happen where I should have said something or other people could have said something, but we didn't because we were just little sheep.
Yeah.
No offense to sheep, But we were sheep.
The more you talk about your experience with school, the more it sounds like I keep drawing parallels between your experience and that fucking Teal Swan documentary. Like,
No, it's
and when
messed
you're
up.
in it,
I'm not the only one that experienced
No.
abuse. Like, I know people that I've come out of the woodwork and been like, you too? The same person? Oh,
and I think it's easy when you come out of that circumstance and like you're starting to heal to be kind of hard on yourself for not saying something when certain things happened. But also, like, you were literally being brainwashed. Literally brainwashed.
Taught professionalism.
I spent a lot of time on cult TikTok.
No, I was being brainwashed.
And, like, you were literally being brainwashed. You wouldn't have even known what to, like, there wasn't anything to say.
There really wasn't.
Because they do a good job of, it's insane.
Yeah. And no offense to the, you know, most of my teachers are really great. It's just the institution as a whole that
Needs an overhaul. Yeah. Like all things in this world.
just add some mental health awareness. Some students were not in a position to be brainwashed. Like I was not in a position to have that happen to me.
Yeah.
And they're young kids too. A lot of my peers were like 18, like straight out of high school. I was in my early 20s, but young, impressionable folks. Like, it's wild.
It's wild. Speaking of cults.
Laura's therapy session. Okay.
Speaking of cults, one of my favorite personal performances is Catholic Mass.
Oh, yes. Ritual performance.
So much of Catholic Mass were rituals and performances adopted from pagans in an effort to convert them with greater ease.
Fun.
Right? And it's really thrown together this theater. Churches look like theaters with their stained glass windows and their pews, and the guys in costume at the front saying shit in Latin. There's incense everywhere. It's like an audience participation performance where you have to say it back, like sing back. We're all responding to that like is a performance.
Yeah.
That's a performance.
Yeah.
And another performance that I think is really cool.
Sorry. You ever been to like Christian youth group meetings? Oh, dear God.
Me. Okay, so I had a friend growing up, and I tell my mom all the time, I'm so grateful, like, of all the Christianities we could have grown up in. We grew up Catholic, because at least we're skeptical of weird shit, right? This is why I've never been into cults. Literally because being Catholic makes you trust no one. But I went to church with my Christian friend once, and I was like, Mom, please don't ever make me spend the night there on a Saturday again. I can't do that.
Bad.
It's weird. It's weird.
It's weird. It's not
like white people's Christian megachurch. I'm sorry if this upsets you. But if it upsets you, I'm surprised you're here. But welcome.
welcome, but also welcome.
How'd you get here? Love it. Take a seat.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk through it.
It's weird. Have you seen Saved?
Snake. Yeah.
With me. That's why I love Saved, because
Saved
it just they do a really good job of like, but that's also a performance.
Oh yeah.
That brainwashes people.
All that conversion stuff is a performance. The holidays that we celebrate today are performances to work to convert people, or they were. Oh man.
Right? I do like, this is like you see it in parts of Central America, but speaking of holidays, there's a ritual performance called a posada, and it's the days leading up to Christmas, and they like march the statues, the effigies of like Christ and Mary through the streets, and I think that's really pretty.
That sounds fun.
Cool. Yeah, it's
I like
really
a parade.
Cool. I love a parade. Lots of Latin American countries we do a parade. Okay, speaking of parades, like Carnival.
Carnival
Is a performance.
Yes, absolutely.
People are masked. There's music. In a lot of places, especially like in Europe, Carnival is the days leading up to Lent. So it's a performance of all the things you can't do once Lent starts.
Right.
And you're supposed to be...
Mardi Gras.
Exactly. Mardi Gras is part of Carnival. But Carnival also happens in the summer in some places because it is a celebration of like the abolition of slavery. And And so you see all these performances in the street of folks like getting greased up and putting on their like feathers and shit and dancing, and there's drums. And I think that goes back to like Plato's fear.
Yeah.
Around performance, because
it's powerful.
A lot of enslaved peoples, indigenous people, African people did not let go. Of the drum.
Were able to retain that. Yes.
Did not let go of the performance.
I would love to know how my ancestors performed. And I can discern it, but I would love to just like, I wish that was preserved more. Because it's beautiful. And it's funny because I was thinking too, like, about performance and magic and how beautiful like different indigenous peoples like use dance and music, and it's not really something I see in like modern witchcraft. I don't see it enough. Like there's no TikTok ritual dance yet. You know what I'm saying? Like
somebody do that, start that trend.
But I think it goes from, you know, movement is scary for people.
Absolutely.
Movement is uncomfortable for a
people
lot
don't
of
want to
people.
feel embarrassed.
Because why is it embarrassing? You know, it's why?
Why?
Maybe because it's been repressed. Maybe because why is dance and movement scary for people to do? And it's very interesting. Just as a culture, in Western culture, we don't implement dance and movement. Singing more.
Because it's like Footloose.
Chanting, sure.
They know the kids
but moving
will
your whole body
we
in
start
ritual.
Dancing. Yeah.
I just don't see that in like neo-pagan sort of
you don't really
white
see
spaces.
that as much.
I don't see that.
No.
And I think that would be cool to see more of like people just letting loose like that, you know? Like it's even just doing a little hokey pokey, you know? The hokey pokey is a ritualistic dance.
Absolutely.
Like,
and the
come on, white folks, we can do the hokey pokey together, okay? I'll do it with you. I'll do it with you.
It's okay if you have two left feet. You can still hokey pokey.
I would love to host like movement ceremony for people, not even magical practitioners. Like I just want people to get in a effing room together and just move and dance and like be okay with it. It's just so therapeutic. Music, dance therapy. I'm sure there's people that do that here in LA, but like I would love to just.
But you're not doing it, and you should.
I want to do it. It'd be weird.
Yes, I think it would be amazing.
I really, for myself too, I want to do that. I think implementing dance and movement, I've done it more in my magic and ritual, not just sitting there and sort of inwardly focusing, but like outwardly expressing and like outwardly focusing. And it's so cool. It's so, my friend Juliet Diaz, who I talk about all the time, our friend Juliet Diaz, who's an amazing Taino community member, and she went to a powwow.
Yeah, I saw.
And she was sending me videos of like their dance, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so, it's just so beautiful. Like, anyway, yeah, it's. I just think that being that comfortable in your body and moving and feeling strong and like conjuring with your body is like, we need to get more into that. We need to get more into that. I would like to see more people get into that, or someone to teach a class on that. You know, that has like some cultural context, like and knowledge to teach that. I think would be very interesting.
Yes,
like in a broad spectrum.
Because I do think like conjuring
hands a little. It's fine.
Conjuring spirit, conjuring energy through body movement is a universal concept.
Yeah.
And it's just that folks who are primarily of European descent don't have. I think that the connection was broken a lot longer ago, because that's another thing that I'm very grateful of, being part of like Latin diaspora.
Is that why white people can't dance?
Is that why white people can't? Okay, I was talking to my friends about this.
Most.
No, but I was talking
like
to my
Elaine,
friends about this, and when you see videos of white babies, they know how to dance. So it's not that white people are born unable to dance. It's that culturally they are taught that they need to repress that.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It's really
Isn't that weird?
Really weird.
Yes.
That also goes into cultural music and rhythms and beats and things too. It's really funny.
But like, go to the honky bar in like North Hollywood, and you'll see some white people dancing.
We can line dance, okay? We can do the funky chicken. I can dance, it's fine.
But this idea of conjuring spirit through dance really is something that's universal, and something that I've been really blessed to like witness is that one of the ways that you call spirits in to mount you as the channel is by dancing for them, doing their dances specifically. And it's really,
oh my gosh,
it's really amazing when you witness it. It's really amazing when you're the one doing it. Like, there's just nothing.
The comfortability and ease of movement.
There's nothing
is
quite
a
like
blessing.
that. Mm-hmm.
It just came out.
And like, each of these different spirits have their own specific dances, and the way you move your arms and the way you move your legs, the things that you wear to do the dances for them are important. Like costume,
like belly dancing
goes into the performance. Yes, all of that. Like, it's magical. It's magical.
Like Bollywood and dances in India and stuff.
Like, well, and even like there's so many different Hindu festivals that are like street-wide community performance, like Durga Puja. Everybody's out in the street, and there's performance, and there's costume, and there's color, and there's masking, and like, I think that's just so cool.
What's the white people equivalent of that? Like Burning Man?
Oh my God, did you hear about what's happening at Burning Man right now?
Is it that the when they're messing up the I can't talk right now.
So apparently it started raining, and Burning Man, the desert is salt. It's salt. So when the rain lands on the salt, it doesn't absorb. It just sits. And you're stuck there until the rain gets evaporated by the sun. So all these fucking rich people who have taken over Burning Man are trapped with limited resources and no fucking survival skills. Stuck. Apparently they've deployed the National Guard. Hawaii couldn't get help.
What?
But Burning Man has the National Guard on its way.
National Guard
on their way. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's a check the weather, too bad, so sad situation for me.
Too bad, so sad. I mean,
what?
I've never been to Burning Man. My husband was really into Burning Man a few decades ago.
Not judging.
When it was still like, no offense, like dirty white hippies. Yeah, I love you all. I love you all.
Love you.
Okay, but the performance, like the burning of the man. Did you ever see The Wicker Man?
Did I? I don't know, but I've been at an effigy burning ceremony.
It's like a I don't even remember if it's a horror movie. I've seen it, but I for some reason blocked it.
I love an effigy performance. It's like a big weird puppet.
The Wicker Man. It was horror, yeah. But at the end, they burn a giant, wicker man.
That's so cool.
And it's part of like the ritual.
There's it's probably an indigenous sort of ritual. I should know the context and I don't. But in Santa Fe, there's a thing called Zozobra. And it's a festival where you write down like all your worries and your cares, and you put it inside of this giant effigy. Mike when we first started dating, we did this together.
That's cute.
And then they like burn, it's big. They burn the whole thing, and he just goes, rah, rah, and he's like burning, he's like, rah. And someone's like making the noise.
The
like,
sounds,
rah.
yeah.
And you burn all your worries away.
That's
cool.
fucking cool.
I like puppets.
That really is performance. That's performance art.
Yes, it is. That
Absolutely.
is so performance art.
I feel like magic and performance cannot be untangled from one another.
No.
And like, why?
Because energetically, you're connecting to yourself. And that's what performance is, in my opinion. When you deduce it down, you're energetically connecting to yourself. And you're acting and you're doing something with that energy. And that's the same exact thing as performance. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's
you are
really beautiful.
You know, that's so funny that you said you're acting. That was one of the things my teacher said. He's like, I always try to maintain the like actor, participant, audience energy in ceremonial magic.
Yeah.
You are the actor. And the spirits are your audience. Maybe they're also your participants. But he's like, that is how you give good shamanic ceremony.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yes.
yeah. Yes.
Yes.
I love that. I love that so much.
Magic is real.
Magic is real.
You should watch The Wicker Man.
I will watch
it's
The
weird.
Wicker Man.
It's real 70s and weird.
I'll watch it.
Do we want to answer some questions today?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
I'm
His
just saying
first
something
time.
really funny.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
Oh, look, it's really funny.
Oh
It's really funny.
no. Is it a Christian comment on YouTube?
It's a Burning Man thing that's gonna make you laugh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I wrote down all of the questions somewhere in here. They're here somewhere. Here we go. Season 5. Let's see if I can actually read this.
This is a performance. This
is a
podcast is a performance.
We are performers.
100%.
Yes.
This is a performance.
Something I really had to, and I think that I have at this point come to terms with is when I was first starting as a reader, I really didn't want people to see me as an entertainer. I wanted people to take me seriously. And then I had this moment with my guides where they were like, but you are an entertainer.
You
Like,
really
just
are.
own it. Just be who you are because what you do is authentic, but it's also entertaining. It's like, okay.
The two, something can be entertaining and authentic.
Yes, it doesn't make it less reverent.
There are a lot of people that use performative measures to front,
Yeah.
put it bluntly, to front
Commit
and
fraud.
be inauthentic and be a charlatan. Absolutely, but that's where your discernment comes in.
Okay, I think
Handy.
this is a cute question. Cute. It's a cool question. I recently learned that remembering past lives are our ancestors' memories in the way that we're all one because every individual that's born on Earth is a collective reflection of ancestors, whose ancestors are Earth's first water bacteria. Okay, wait, this is getting a little crazy.
Wait, what?
I remember past lives from other planets, though. How is this possible? Unless Earth was made from a broken off piece of planet, and that from another piece of planet, and so on. And the memory of an alien life was the memory of an alien's... Okay, basically they're wanting to know is it possible to have past lives on other planets? I think that's the core
Oh,
of this question.
okay.
To which I would say, absolutely. There's
Yeah,
no
why
way
not?
we're the only ones out here. In an infinite universe, this might
There's no way.
This might not be the only garden planet. There might be another planet just like ours. Maybe there's a handful of them.
so many.
There's so much out there. So,
Effing
like, of
stuff out there.
course. And there are galaxies that are so much older than ours. And, like, light years and It blows my mind when I think about space sometimes. It hurts my head.
I'm from Planet Claire.
like, Claire's?
It's a B-52s reference. I just saw them in Vegas. Vegas, which I would like to touch on.
performance.
Sorry, we're going down this route because I just went to Las Vegas. And look, nature is beautiful, wonderful, and I revere it with all my heart and soul. But Vegas is the thing that cured my depression.
Absolutely, yes.
It wasn't
I love that
going.
for you.
It wasn't going into the solitude and quiet. It was nice, but it didn't quite allow me to forget all my cares and troubles and worries. But goddamn, if Vegas isn't a portal into the debaucherous.
It is a portal.
It is and I went, pew, like, yes, please, pew, and just let it. And I didn't get drunk. I didn't smoke drugs. I didn't do drugs to feel this. I just went and let it, saw some shows, ate some food. I love the way casinos smell.
Me too. I love that horrible smell.
There's something about it that's
I
just,
love it.
everyone's there for the same reason. It is a absolute town of performance, performativity. Just
The mating rituals
Oh my
are such a
God.
performance. I love
just
it.
let me live in that for 2 days and then I'm done.
I love it. Yeah,
That's where
2
Mike
days
and
is
I got
enough.
married. Like, it's a very like healing place for us as a
Yeah.
couple. And it's weird because like if you know me, you maybe wouldn't think like Vegas,
Yeah.
Laura, but I fucking love it.
Yeah.
And it really helped my mental health to get
Yes.
away. It just like it gets away.
It's like a different planet
Also,
there.
the desert is a very healing place for me.
Yeah.
Desert energy and just the fact that it's like literally like I don't like the Mirage Casino. Sorry, Mirage. But a Mirage in the desert.
Yeah.
Not literally the Mirage because it smelled really weird this time.
the Mirage is old.
It's not my fave.
It's not good. I agree.
But like, put me in Treasure Island. I will pay $80 a night. I will walk to the Venetian because it has better food. Like, yes.
Right on the little boat.
Oh my God.
It is. It's like a fairyland almost.
Like an
it's
adult
wild.
playground.
Yeah.
Even for kids too. Like,
I had
there's
a
so
really
much
great
more
time with my
stuff.
kids. We stayed at the Park MGM, and it's the
Nice.
only hotel where you can't smoke.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is great when you have babies.
Yeah.
But we had so much fucking fun
So
with our
fun.
kids
Like, what
running
did you
around
do?
Vegas
Like,
together.
you just walk
We saw
around?
the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, right. You
That's
saw the
what we
Jonas
did.
Brothers. I saw the
and it
Blue
was
Man Group and the
incredible.
B-52s.
Yes, we ate so many good meals.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it again because we had so much fun. We stayed in the Nomad Tower. I highly recommend if you have a family, stay there. It's amazing. There were 2 separate pools for like adults only and families, which was perfect because
great.
I don't want adults to feel like we're cramping their style. And
That's cool.
Like it was just really groovy. I love Vegas. It really is transformative.
It really is transformative. And it gets a lot of like bad, I don't know. I get it, but man, and it's for someone that has sensory processing issues like me, you think I wouldn't like it, but I fucking loved it.
I love it.
I love it.
When I was
The
working in
lights.
apparel, the lights, the shopping.
the shopping,
I don't
the
even need
Caesar's
to buy
Palace.
anything, but I love going through Caesar's Palace. Yes.
There's a fake sky within a building.
It's so cool.
It's
and
a
the
portal.
Bellagio.
The Bellagio.
Oh, so magical.
There's a volcano show.
Yes. And
maybe it's
so
the
much good
Mirage.
food everywhere.
food.
The last time, so when I was in apparel, we went to Vegas twice a year for a trade show. So I didn't really see Vegas very much
Right.
during the day. I only saw it at night. And all of my food was comped by my boss.
Yeah.
So like the last time I was in Vegas, I ate at Momofuku every night. I sat at the counter by myself. I like flirted with the chefs, and I had great dinner every single night on my boss's dime.
It was created by the
so
mob
fun.
to launder money. It's a fucking fun place.
So fun.
Created by criminals, and it's just like
And it doesn't matter what you're into, there's something for you
there is
there.
something for
Because like
you.
Brian and I don't drink.
Yeah, no, I didn't really drink very
And
much
like
either.
we have a great time whenever we're there.
just-
like it doesn't matter what you're into.
We casino hopped and walked and like
It's so
there's
fun.
a giant H&M. Have you been to that H&M?
Yes, it's a really good H&M. It's so cool.
You go to the outlets on the way. It's
Yes.
just camp.
It's so
It's
fun.
just
It's
camp.
high camp, and I love camp.
Yeah.
Which is why I loved Barbie. High camp.
Yeah.
Give
yeah,
me high camp.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I loved it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, drag performance is a legitimately beautiful art form.
Art form.
And is
yes.
not dangerous and scary.
No, drag queens aren't coming for your kids.
No.
They're not.
But that's another way people shit on something that's
Exactly.
beautiful.
It goes
and
back to
it goes
that
back
like
to the narrative.
authoritarian
Yeah.
need to oppress performance that can change people's minds.
Or affirm people's identities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And drag has that
Fucked up.
power.
Drag is so fun.
So they're trying to take it down.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild time to be alive.
Viva Las Vegas.
Do you remember any of your past lives?
I did a regression a few times. I've done a few. Like one was like assisted and one was with myself. And I remember I looked down and I was barefoot and I had very long gray white hair. I was old and it was very green around me. So I'm thinking it might have been Scotland. And because I'm Scottish AF. And I remembered the why I was sad that I died was because I had to leave my grandkids.
Oh.
I just got really sad. That was one of the it was a self-guided like regression, and one of the questions was like, why did you die? What happened? But I was surrounded by people that I loved, and I was a grandmother and I died and I missed my family. Okay. And then there was another one where this might be an alien planet. I don't know. Okay, you've seen Aladdin, right?
Yeah.
So you know, like the Cave of Wonders.
Absolutely.
You know how when
I'm absolutely familiar.
okay, you know when like it collapses and it comes out of the sand.
Yeah.
I was like this weird old creature / man. Yeah. And I kept little spirits in my pockets, like. I had like a satchel and I would go into my sand my sand room.
Yeah.
Like it would appear out of the sand, and then I would go in and I was just like fidgeting with things. And like, I think I was a male or just a neutral.
Yeah.
Just throw them all in there.
Very cool.
But I was like I was like very old and just like, I would make these creatures and sort of like my puppets.
Keep them in your belt.
Yeah, I would
Oh
just,
my God,
you know what I
like
mean?
your
Like I would have these little
puppets.
things that were alive and like I was like, yeah, that's all I could kind of figure out.
Like your puppets.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's f***ing cool.
I was like a creature or some
I love that. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Magical.
But kind of like when Jafar turns into the old guy. Does he turn
Yeah.
into? That's kind of what it
Yeah.
reminded me of. He's like,
Yeah.
and when he dupes Aladdin in the beginning, when
Yes.
he's just like, that's what I looked like, sort of.
I love that. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
That's an excellent past life story.
Sand, desert, maybe that. I mean, who knows? I have a weird connection to the desert.
Yes.
It's just like hidden magic.
I love the
We can talk
desert.
about we should talk about like different topographies sometimes too,
Yeah.
like different climates.
We got to add that to the list.
Desert magic is
Yeah.
radical.
I have
About you.
a lot of past life memories, which makes me tired. But when you mentioned topography, the one that it made me want to touch on is like I love rivers. I really, really love rivers. I love the ocean. I love the desert. But like,
Oh, I was a seal
rivers-
too. Remember, I got eaten by a shark. You guys have heard this
Yes.
before.
That's right.
There's
yes!
also that.
I love that one.
I've been a sea creature.
I was a siren.
Right, we
in
were-
one of mine.
Maybe I was a selkie. Somebody said that to me. Maybe you were a selkie.
Selkies are cool.
And I was like, probably.
That's very Scottish.
Yeah.
I was a siren in one of my past lives with like the big scary teeth and like the long scary nails, which maybe is why I like.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I just had a flashback to like Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire, and he's like, "Do you think these would be too scary for the children?"
Scary for the children.
But I was definitely a siren, and then I had a past life where I was like a traveler, and I had a little covered wagon.
Yes.
And I would always stay by the river.
Yeah.
And it's the first past life that I can recall where like I met the partner that I'm with now. And we both, well, no, I died. That's what it was. I died really early, in like a not fun way. And something that I learned was that like this lifetime was our chance to redo it.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to get old. I'm trying to get real old in this life.
I think Mike was my parent. My partner now is a parent. Was my
Yeah.
parent in another life.
I
I
believe
really,
that.
really, really
Yeah.
do. I've told you that before. Yeah. Like my mom's or my dad's. I don't know.
Lola tells
My
me that I
daddy
was
now. Sorry, that's weird. Cut that out.
No, it was perfect. Don't
Just kidding.
keep it in.
It's weird.
That
but
was
it works.
improv. That was improv. And on that note, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for. Please buy our merch.
Please buy our merch. Walk around in your Third Eye Bind t-shirts. Drink out of your Third Eye
Yes.
Bind mugs. Give them as gifts for Yule.
Question the system.
Question the system. Perform as an act of rebellion.
Yes.
Performance as an act
No matter
of-
what or who you are, if you have zero experience, I don't care.
Just shake your ass.
movement is valid. Your energy is valid.
Drop it like a thoughtie, as Beyonce
Drop it.
says. And we'll see you witches next week.
Yes. Thank you for Thank you for tuning in to Third Eye Bind.
Be sure to leave us a message on the Third Eye line. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. You can follow the podcast at Third Eye Bind Pod on Instagram. There, submit your questions via the Third Eye line by sending us a voice message or text DM. The show is available wherever you listen to podcasts and for you to watch on YouTube. Get early access to episodes and even monthly one-on-one sessions with us by joining our Patreon. Find us at patreon.com/thirdeyebind. Third Eye Bind is produced and edited by Mike Realm. Hosted by Caitlin Grania and Laura Wong. Music by Mike Realm. Set design by Laura Wong. You can find Laura on Instagram at Lady Moon Co. And you can find Caitlin at caitlin.grania.